Hi guys, Miss Hughes here. I'm going to be reading our next story for next week, but for this story, we're going to be in our last book, Book 6, and your sight words are located on page 10. Number 1, Teacher. The art teacher shows how to use a brush. Number 2, Studied. She studied the flower before she drew it. Number 3, Surprised. He was surprised to see such a big statue. Number 4, Toward. He walked slowly toward the art table. Number 5, Bear. The picture of the bear looks very real. Number 6, Above. These shapes hang high above the floor. Number 7, Even. This box has even more crayons in it. Number 8, Pushed. He pushed the clay into new shapes. And our target skill this week is compare and contrast. As you read, ask yourself how things are alike and different. Good readers use text evidence to compare and contrast things like characters, settings, or events. Use a diagram to show how two things are alike and different to understand a story better. And you could use a diagram like below. So when you compare and contrast, like let's say if you were comparing and contrasting animals, like a cat and a dog, you would show how they are alike and then how they're different. Target strategy. Monitor, clarify. If a part doesn't make sense, reread it and ask and answer questions about it and use the pictures for help. Preview the topic, visual arts. There are many ways to make art. You can use crayons or markers to draw. You can paint a picture. You could cut shapes out of paper and glue them together. A computer can be used to draw and find pictures for artwork. What are some ways you like to make art? You will find out how one girl makes art in The Dot. So we went over our target skill. The genre for this week just means what type of story are we reading. The genre of this story is realistic fiction, which is a story that could happen in real life. As you read, look for characters who act as real people do, events that could really happen. So our story is realistic fiction. It's not a true story, but it could be something that could happen in real life. Our author is Peter H. Reynolds. So our essential question, our story this week is The Dot, and as you read, think about this question. What are some different ways to make art? Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. If you look down here, figurative language, what does being glued to your chair mean? Does it actually mean that Vashti was glued to her chair? Was she actually glued to it? What do you think that means? Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." And you can see there's the white piece of paper there. And Vashti's kind of upset because she just says she can't draw. What do you think Vashti should try to do next? Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." So after Vashti made the mark with the marker, why do you think her teacher told her to sign the bottom of the paper? What would be the reason for that? Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can draw, but I can sign my name." So you can see Vashti signing her name there at the bottom. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn, her dot, all framed in swirly gold. And you can see her teacher framed her dot picture and hung it on the wall. "Humph, I can make a better dot than that." She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. And you can see in the picture all the different dots that she painted and all the different colors that she used. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. He's through there making a bigger dot. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. So you see, she left the middle as a big white dot, and she just painted the outside. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. What does it mean by quite a splash? What does that mean her dots did? Do you think that Vashti has a different feeling about her dot now? Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You are a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." So this little boy's telling Vashti that she's a really good artist. She can draw really, really well, and he wished he could draw as good as her. Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Sign it," just like her teacher told her. So once you're done reading, you can go to page 36 and go over these questions right here after you're finished watching the video of me reading the story. Talk about these questions with your class. How does Vashti's art teacher help her? How do you think her art teacher helped her? How are Vashti's paintings alike? How are they different? Every painting, what did every painting have? But then how were they each different in their own way? And then how are Vashti and the little boy alike? How do you think both of them are alike? What is one thing they both wanted to do? All right, thank you for joining me. I hope you go back over the video, listen to me read the story, and then throughout the week, you practice reading the story on your own. I hope everyone is well. We really miss you, and we hope to get to see you very soon. Thank you. Goodbye.